Rabbi Kaplan wrote about the meditative experience. One of the first places we see this expressly spoken about in our tradition is what's called the Merkava texts. This is from the early, it's through the entire Second Temple period. The sages came back from Babylon. There was no more open prophecy. That faded out after Malachi and Zechariah and Haggai, the three last prophets. They were part of the Sanhedrin, the 120 men of the Great Assembly, and when they passed away, there were no more explicit prophets, but there were now the sages. And the sages had the prophetic traditions. It was almost like a switch, a transition into a new stage of the Jewish experience. And so the sages were very much into profound inner experiences. And they had also as a result of that, as a result of connecting to those deep levels, they had powers. This is not known by many, but they were miracle workers. That's very interesting in and of itself. The texts that Rabbi Kaplan wrote, at first it's mentioned here and there in his writings, but then he gets serious and he starts with his book, Meditation in the Bible. That's the one with Moses' face on the front. In Meditation in the Bible, he does what he calls biblical archaeology with words. He goes and shows in the Psalms themselves, in the prophetic writings, that there are certain words that if you mistranslate them, if you translate them in a superficial way, you'll never know what they're talking about. They occur and reoccur in certain contexts, and they indicate that there were certain methods that were used in order to enter into deep states of consciousness. And so he does certain words like siach, which is translated speech, but is also meditation. Higayon, hege meditation, which is thoughts, higayon libi, the thoughts of my heart. But it's not just a poetic word, it's something to do with tuning into myself, into that deeper level that's always there. And there were other words that he mined, so to speak, from the depths of the biblical tradition. In his second book on Kabbalah, which is Kabbalah and Meditation, then he actually traces the history of the development of the deeper teachings through all the different schools. He goes back to the prophets, he goes into the Merkava tradition, goes on into the Zoharic tradition, and then further on into the Abulafian system, and then on to the Ari, and then finally into the Baal Shem Tov, Rabbi Nachman. It's an extremely valuable overview of the history of the deeper or hidden traditions of the Jewish people in a way that's satisfying and opens up a person that this is real. This is real.